will come back and expand on that a little bit later on in the agenda. Our first order of business is our land acknowledgement statement. The Township of Hamilton is situated within the traditional territory of the Mississauga, Nishnabek, and Chippewa nations, collectively known as the Williams Treaties First Nations. Our work on these lands respectfully acknowledges their resilience and their long-lasting contributions to the area now known as the Township of Hamilton. Do we have any additions to our agenda today? Seeing none, we'll move to the prepared motion to accept the agenda. And it simply reads that the agenda for the council meeting held on December 16th, 2025 be approved. Mover and seconder. Moved by Bruce, seconded by Mark. Any questions or comments? All those in favor? Carried. Thank you. Item 5, declarations of pecuniary interest or the general nature thereof. Is there any declarations today? Seeing none, that will be recorded. Item 6 on our agenda. Any public questions from the audience or online regarding agenda items today? And I don't believe there are any. There are no presentations or delegations. We'll move down to public hearings, and under 8.1, motion to go into a public meeting. It is recommended the Council of the Corporation of the Township of Hamilton and acts as follows. The Council go into a public meeting under Section 34 of the Planning Act and/or Section 357 of the Municipal Act at 1:02 p.m. December 16th, 2025. 8.2 on the agenda. Should have a mover and a seconder, I've been told. I should have known that. Moved by John, seconded by Larry. All those in favor? Carried, thank you. 8.2, application for cancellation, reduction, or refund of taxes under Section 357(1)(di) of the Municipal Act. If we have questions, we do have our treasurer here. And it's in respect to January 1st, 2023 to December 31st, 2023 for 5268 Oriole Beach Road, Unit 380. Turning to our audience, I'll quickly ask, is there anyone here in support? Anyone here opposed? Anyone here seeking clarification? Seeing none, that will be noted. 8.3, application, zoning bylaw 07-25 for the property at 6228 Rice Lake Scenic Drive, Part Lot 4, Concession 9. Do we have a planning report on this?
We do.
Thank you. The floor is yours, Jennifer.
Thank you. Through you, Mayor Jibb. This is an application for a zoning area. Surrounding land uses are a combination of waterfront residential, there are some agricultural lands or rural lands in the area. The former Harwood School is located immediately north of the subject property. It was at the time undergoing renovations. Harwood Auto is located north of the subject property, and the store is located to the east. The property is approximately 480 meters south of the south shore of Rice Lake. So the property is located in a designated settlement area. Residential development is permitted under the provincial planning statement. A portion of the property is located within the Oak Ridges Moraine. However, the subject lands are on lands that are actually designated marginal agriculture in the official plan. The PPS, or Provincial Planning Statement, contains policies requiring the protection of natural heritage resources and natural hazard features. At the time of consents, it was determined, the consent review, it was determined that there are, excuse me, no natural heritage features or natural hazard features on the proposed severed lots. There was a watercourse identified on the property, but it was not on the subject property, on the conditionally approved severed lots, or within 120 meters of those lots. The provincial planning statement also contains policies requiring the protection of natural heritage resources, which includes archaeological resources. This property is located in close proximity to Rice Lake, and there are watercourses in the area. The township has access to mapping illustrating the location of known archaeological resources, and there are a number of sites within that area. So the recommendation with this, contained in this report, is that the zoning be approved, but subject to the application of a holding provision requiring the completion of an archaeological assessment prior to the removal of that holding provision. That will allow the properties to be rezoned as required as a condition of consent, at the same time recognizing the need for archaeological work to be done on the subject properties prior to development of those lands. I just want to note that there are a number. When I called up the mapping, I believe I counted 9 within a 750-meter radius of the property. So there are a number of known archaeological sites in the area. The property is located on the Oak Ridges Moraine, or a portion of the property is located on the Oak Ridges Moraine, but the severed lots and the lots to be rezoned are not located within the Oak Ridges Moraine. The county official plan designates the properties as rural settlement area, and residential lot creation is permitted within that designation. The Hamilton Township official plan, the northern portion of the property on which the severed lots are located, is designated settlement area. Permitted uses include single detached dwellings, as is suggested with this zoning bylaw amendment. The recommendation is that the properties be rezoned to the urban residential first density zone, which permits a single detached dwelling on a property of 0.4 hectares with 45 meters of frontage. And the conditionally approved lots would meet those lot area and frontage requirements. As I noted earlier, an archaeological assessment is required prior to the development of these lands, so we've included a holding provision requiring that study be completed. The application was circulated in accordance with the provisions of the Planning Act to all properties within 120 meters of the subject land. Notice was sent by first-class mail on November 26, 25, and a sign was posted on the property on November 25, 25. No public comments have been received. There were a number of agency comments that were received. Ganaraska Conservation Authority had no concerns with the application, nor did the township's Public Works, Building Department, or Fire Services. Northumberland County had no objection. They noted the road widening had been requested as part of the conditions of consent, and to date they hadn't received the acknowledgement and direction for the road widening, which is not uncommon, but that will have to be completed prior to finalization of the severances. Alderville First Nation commented that an archaeological assessment is required here in an area of high potential for archaeological materials and/or burials. Please let the proponent know that Alderville First Nation expects to be engaged when the archaeological assessment is being planned. The recommendation is that the subject lands be rezoned to the special urban residential first density 36 holding zone, requiring the completion of an archaeological assessment prior to development of the property. I do note that the applicant is here in the audience today.
Thank you, Jennifer, and I noted that as well. And to the applicants, we'll be back to you in a minute. You will have an opportunity at that time to answer questions or provide a presentation. To the rest of the audience, is there anyone here in support of the application? Sir, would you please come to the microphone, ensure that it's on, state your name and address, and any additional words you would like to state.
Gary Lothian, 6229 Rice Lake Scenic Drive.
We may not have that microphone on for you yet.
Okay, Gary Lothian, 6229 Rice Lake Scenic Drive, Harwood. I'm here in support of the Dropes passing this, but I do have issues with water. Since my lot backs onto this property, which isn't the cited properties, but just off the cited properties, it's indicating on the maps that there's a runway for water. We've had so many water issues in that corner of our housing units and so on, but the issue is diversion of water. My concern is if they come on the furthest north site and start filling in that site, that water is going to be pushed even further to us. Right now, that water is crossing either through the entry of the where the tractors come in, or onto the old Harwood School property right at the end. What needs to happen there is either a ditch to divert it to the ditch in front of our house. It needs to be diverted properly. Right now, there's a crossing going right under Rice Lake Scenic Drive. So it goes through the school property, and then it kind of stops there and ponds there. And then there's a culvert that goes under the road into the Dropes property, of which just floods pretty well that whole property. It's like a skating rink in the wintertime. It just doesn't make sense what we've done there. So my concern is if we have someone, I'm for them selling their property. My concern is what happens to that property when someone purchases it. What's going to happen? We need to either divert properly that water so it comes to the road and turns right and goes straight down. That's really the only way you're going to fix that. I do have pictures of, and if you'd like to see them, I can show you some pictures of the, I've taken pictures over the years of this issue. If you'd like to see that, or if I can present that to you.
I'll turn to my fellow committee members, council members. To be honest with you, I think I've traveled that part of the country enough times that I would not have any need of seeing the pictures.
Okay, okay.
Does anyone like to see? Mark, if you would?
Sure.
Just to see where you were referring to. I think I know, but I just want to be sure.
So this is, that's where the properties are in the background. And then you see the fence line here is the corner of the old school. And this, like you see right now, is the throughway for the tractors that go in. This is every year. It would be springtime, not now. It's the spring. Spring's the issue, right? And to tell you the truth, my sump goes up so often that what I do is I actually put in a straight line garden hose for about a month. And I run my sump in that garden hose with my sump working. So it goes from 30 seconds, going off every 30 seconds to every 3 minutes with my actual pump. And that thing pumps continuously. So that's very, very low land. Number one. This is the drive through. Okay, and then this is the lot across the street house. Okay. Okay. And this is the corner lot. There's no, it's just, you see what's going on? This is the, that's at the corner, which is the school. So you see what happens there, it just doesn't really go there, there's no diversion, there's no gully for it to make it straight. You need to gully it out and make it move, because what's happening is, I've been there like 23 years now. You guys changed the development up top, you put that culvert in, that water started coming at us.
When we get away from the pictures, we should get you back to the microphone so that it doesn't look like dead time on air
I got you,
that we,
okay,
that we have,
sorry.
when in fact that's not the
This
case.
is my first council meeting I've ever been to, so I've been in the area for about 23 years now, and anyhow, so basically, there is a water issue there. I'm all for them selling property. I'm into capitalism. I have no problem with that, and so on, but we need to fix this problem. It's been there. Well, I'll give you an example. About 15 years ago, I had 3 strawberry plants draped across a line, like a pole on 2 benches. And I came out the next morning and my strawberry plants, they were over here, and I come down and my strawberry plants were 20, 30 feet down there. I'm thinking, oh, my buddy Ron, they pulling another prank on me, right? No, okay, I'll get them back, whatever. And then I realized the side of my house was the debris line. The water came up, we actually got flooded out. And the water was up, but by the time I woke up that morning, it was gone. So it was that much water comes off of that. Ever since you guys changed, I don't know you guys, but ever since you put that culvert coming in from the, up at the hill, the big cul-de-sac that you built, we developed up top there. And ever since then, we've had water issues. So I'm just, I'm for them selling the property, but I want to make sure that we're not going to get flooded out by this thing again, so that's basically where I stand.
Thank you.
Thank you, Scott.
In fact, you guys in this particular case is County Road 18 and County Road 15. So it's a different level of government. Now, we have had presentation here at the time of the severance that was brought forward. And we did have concerns brought to our attention about water, drainage concerns. So it's not new to us sitting around this horseshoe, but I'll turn to Jennifer. And Jennifer, at that severance time, I recall the reference to site plan, building permit tie-in, and addressing it at that time. Could you help me here, especially if my memory's not right? Please.
Certainly, through you, Mayor Jibb. At the time of consents, yes, there was concern expressed by area residents. I believe they were the residents along County Road, the north-south one, is that 15? 15. About water that came down from the crescent, the cul-de-sac at the top of the hill, come down, and then it goes through the field.
Ardor Crescent.
Arda, I don't really know how to pronounce that usually. I always fumble it, so thank you. So there was concern about that. And at that point in time, we've got an existing situation where there's a drainage swale that goes across the retained portion of this property. When the severed or conditionally approved severed lots are developed, during the building permit process, they are required to submit a lot grading plan as part of the building permit process. And they cannot drain the water onto an adjacent property. So they have to accommodate their water within the lot. Now, we have expressed concerns to the owner of the property about the fact that there are some water problems on the retained portion. And when somebody goes to develop the severed lots, they are going to have to fill in that area. And there will be some work that is required for whoever is going to build on those properties. And the drainage plan will be part of the building permit application. We used to be able to apply site plan control through the Planning Act for lots like this, but the province took that away from us, so we can't do that anymore. You can only use site plan control on residential development when it exceeds 10 units. So it's through the building permit process that we will address lot grading and drainage.
And I'm sure you have good notes that you can share with your fellow building department people on the concern, which is very legitimate, I think, in this particular case. So,
Yes, they are aware.
we can move forward with some level of comfort that the water drainage that has been spoken of today will be addressed.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you. I guess I should ask, is there anyone further here in support of this application, other than the applicants? Seeing none, is there anyone here opposed to the application? Seeing none, is there anyone seeking clarification on the application? And my apologies to the building department staff. I have my up-close glasses on, didn't realize you're in the audience with us now. I'm sure you have your own notes on this. Coming back to the applicant. Would you like to speak to the application, or would you like to answer questions if in fact our committee members have any questions? Yes. Okay, please. For the record, please ensure the microphone's on. State your name and address.
Good afternoon, Tammy Browse-Bugden, 6228 Rice Lake Scenic Drive. Good afternoon, council members, Mayor Jeb. Really appreciate the opportunity to be here today, and also for our good neighbor to come forward to raise his concerns about the longstanding water issues that cropped up when the development at Ardagh Crescent took place. And so there was, back in July of 2024, some extensive discussions. There was neighbors that had written and attended, both from County Road 18 and County Road 15, about the longstanding water issue. And there was some discussion whether or not council would be seeking some clarification for Northumberland to correct a wrong that took place I actually don't recall when Ardagh was developed, but 30 plus years ago, I think that'd be safe to say, or whether or not residents should approach Northumberland County, or perhaps it would be a joint venture. And so that's something that obviously, with Gary Lothian coming here today and expressing his concerns, if nothing happens with the property, we still have the problem that the neighbors are experiencing, including ourselves, but we haven't put that forward. Gary talked about the ice rink on our side of the property, and we don't have any cows going through there now, so it hasn't been a problem. But certainly it was a problem for a number of years. So that's, I just wanted to share those views with you, and just to recall that they are very long-standing water issues for a number of our neighbors in Harwood. Thank you to Jennifer Current for her thorough report. I did have 2 points of clarification. I just, because I don't have any experience with the archaeological assessments, although looking at learning all about them, and I understand the provincial legislations, wondered if 2 things, if there was any timelines with respect to the condition for the rezoning. I know that we had timelines associated with conditions for the severance. I'm just going to need to get a sense of how long, if there is a timeline for the archaeological assessment to be completed. And then my assumption is the archaeological assessment would apply only to the 4 lots. So those are 2 areas of clarification I'd be looking to appreciate and understanding.
They, in fact, may generate more questions and more conversation. Would you be willing to meet with Jennifer after the meeting, possibly, to get those specifically to you?
100%, that would be great.
Okay.
That'd be
Is
more
that okay
efficient,
with you,
too.
Jennifer? Or?
Sure, they're very quick, I have very quick answers.
The choice is yours, Jennifer.
Very quick answer. There's no timing on the requirement to complete the archaeology study. The holding can't be removed until the archaeology study's done, but there's no rush on that. The rezoning applies only to the 4 severed lots, so the archaeology is only required on the 4 severed lots.
Okay, thank you. And to our presenter with the photographs, are they something, and I'm terrible on technology, are they something that you could forward to our township staff so they have them available to? Thank you. Okay, so we're at the point, is there anyone else here seeking clarification? We've gone to our applicants, going now to our committee members. Any questions for anyone, staff or applicant on this application? Seeing none? Okay, we'll move on to 8.4. And the prepared motion reads, the council rise from a public meeting under Section 34 of the Planning Act and Section 357 of the Municipal Act and reconvene to a regular meeting of council at 1:25 p.m. on December 16th, 2025. Can I have a mover and a seconder, please? Moved by Mark, second by Larry. Questions or comments? All those in favor? Carried, thank you. Now we're moving on to the actual bylaws themselves. Under 9.1 on the agenda, prepared motion reads that, and this is dealing with 6228 Rice Lake Scenic Drive, that bylaw 2025-46, being a bylaw to amend the zoning bylaw 2001-58 as amended for zoning bylaw 0705, be given first, second, and third reading, finally passed the 16th day of December 2025. Mover, moved by Larry, second by John. Questions or comments? All those in favor? Carried, thank you. Okay, 10 on our agenda. Special council budget meeting number 2. It's probably still in everybody's memory from yesterday. Prepared motion reads that the minutes of the special council meeting held on December 15th, 2025 be adopted. Mover and a seconder. Moved by Mark, second by Larry. Any questions or comments? All those in favor? Carried. Thank you. 12.1. Agenda items to be considered collectively for information, being items 12.2 to be considered, and 12.2 to be considered separately. Motion reads that agenda items 12.2 to 12.6 of the December 16th, 2025 council meeting agenda be received for information. So what we'll do is we'll get a motion and get it approved or denied, and then we'll go back to item 12.2 or any other items that you wish to pull. So, okay, I'll read the motion. Again, agenda items 12.2 to 12.6 of the December 16th, 2025 council meeting agenda be received for information. Mover, Bruce. Seconder, John. Any questions or comments? All those in favor? Okay, now we're going to pull 12.2, which is the Environmental and Climate Advisory Committee. And the separate motion there is the Council for the Corporation Township of Hamilton acts as follows. That the recommendation from the November 19th, 2025 Environmental and Climate Advisory Committee be approved. That the unused portion of the 2025 budget allocation be carried over to 2026 to support the installation of a charging station for an electric vehicle. Well, as we know, that vehicle was not approved in the budget. So I'll turn to our clerk because the next word I didn't read was carried. So are we going to defer this motion? Or what are we going to pull this motion? What would the cleanest to do?
So through you, Mr. Mayor, just that's an administrative error when we copied the resolution from the minutes from the Environmental Committee meeting. Our Councillor Levshin is our representative, as is Councillor Butter, on the Environmental and Climate Advisory Committee. So I'd simply ask them how they would like to proceed.
Mark, go ahead.
I would ask that the money, it does get carried over to the 2026 year, basically because we need that money for things such as, they're looking at a pollinator garden in Bewley and so forth. Some of that couldn't have been achieved this year because of weather. I mean, it was too dry when we wanted to plant, it was too wet in the spring when they just couldn't do it then. Summer it was just too dry, and fall quickly came upon us, so they couldn't get it done then. So they're asking for that to be carried over anyway, regardless of the electric vehicle or not. There was hope for the electric vehicle, but since that didn't materialize, they will find other avenues to spend that money that will be environmentally friendly. So I would hope that we could carry that over if we could.
So to our clerk, could we modify the motion that the unused portion of the 2025 budget allocation be carried over to 2026? End of sentence.
The motion hasn't been moved or seconded, so should anyone like to do that, they can do it.
I'll move that.
As modified as I've just read.
Yes.
Moved by Mark, seconded by Bruce. Question or comments? All those in favor? Carried, thank you. Does anyone else wish to pull anything down to 12.6? Mark?
I'd just like to talk about 12.4. The two gentlemen that did this this past term did an excellent job, and both John and Larry, I mean, you guys did a terrific job in getting that accomplished. I mean, we tried this a number of years ago, and we never had the success that you guys have pulled off in having those awards. So congratulations to both of you and your committee for doing that. Much appreciated.
And of course, I think we should add several staff. Yes, thank you to everyone involved. Nice function. Okay, that gets us down to, nothing else to be pulled down to 12.6? Okay. That gets us down to 14.1, Coburg Pickleball Club. And we do have a prepared motion and a report, I'm sure. Trevor, I'm going to say the floor is yours.
Thank you. Through you, Mayor Jib. So the Coburg Pickleball Club attended the Committee of the Whole on October 14th. You heard their presentation regarding the construction of pickleball courts at the Baltimore Recreation Center. I took the time to meet with them on October 28th just to discuss some of the items from that meeting. Some of the things we discussed were club hours and what they would prefer. So the club would be looking to use the courts exclusively for the club from weekdays 8 a.m. to 12 p.m. and then again 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. in the evenings. Saturdays from 8 a.m. to 12 p.m. and Sundays from 12 p.m. to 4 p.m. This is similar to the setup that they have at the current pickleball courts located in Coburg. They do carry $5 million liability in insurance. Any court scheduling for their organization would not come back to the township's responsibility. That would be done through their club. They did offer to assist with our programmer to offer summer camp programs to offer pickleball to the youth. The current annual fees for pickleball are $50 per year the members pay. We did discuss increasing that fee to $100 so that they would then be able to pay an annual fee of $5,000 per year for that exclusive use of the courts. So that was kind of some of the things that we outlined that an agreement would look like if we move forward with this. And just in discussions too, I did have some discussions with them in recommendations that come out of the 2020 Parks and Recreation Master Plan that included supporting pickleball in our community. However, it did include the construction of new pickleball courts. Currently, we have 4 tennis courts that are dual purpose. They've been headlines painted on them for pickleball that are used, and I believe they get well used at this time. So, and then the big one was the financial component of this, and through the treasurer, given the 2026 budget process that we went through yesterday, and we did at the time of this report, if all items in that capital were approved, which they were, the remaining balance would be $39,000 in the park reserve. So the construction of the 8 pickleball courts, we're looking at $375,000. The club would contribute $50,000 for the construction. We pursue 50% funding through a grant, be it Trillium or something like that. That leaves $137,500 that the municipality would be have to pay for. With that, that would leave our Parks Reserve in a deficit of 98, or I believe it's $98,000 in deficit. So can answer any questions.
I have a couple, I'm sure council does as well. Obviously, the big question is going to be, and I'll leave that for somebody else, the 98,000. I believe I heard you say that if the fee for the members was taken up to $100, that would provide an opportunity of them paying $5,000 a year. I got that part. The next part of your report was for exclusive use of those courts. So no other ratepayers would be allowed on there when I hear the word exclusive?
No, so it would be members only during them times.
Oh,
And then
during
the
the
other
times.
times, it would be open to the public. Or if the membership, during them times, if the courts weren't being used, they would then be opened up to public. But they would have the first right of that court.
Understood. Yeah. I heard something a little different, obviously, when I heard the word exclusive. Obviously, I'm thinking we're going to have conversations about the 98,000. Council members, any questions? Larry?
Thanks, through you, Mr. Mayor. Thanks, Trevor. Well, we all know that pickleball is becoming a really popular sport. I heard just the other day that Peterborough's just put in, I forget, it's 10 pickleball courts in a facility that they have. The problem is that there's issues with pickleball courts. You know, sound, aggressive behavior, because the players are quite aggressive. It's a little different from tennis, which is a little more sophisticated sport. But it'd be really great to have these, but at this time, we just don't have the funding for that. It would put us into a $98,000 deficit. And maybe in the future, if they can come back with more funding, going after funding themselves, in addition to what we've got, we can have applied for. But at this point in time, I'm recommending that we don't move forward with this project at all.
Thank you, Larry. Any other comments or questions? Mark?
I feel a little like Larry. I'm saddened to see that we have to pass up this opportunity, because, I mean, it is an opportunity that we get some funding, but we just don't have the money to do it. So it's sad in some ways, and there is some areas that, may be not good for us either. There is sound issues and so forth. But it's a growing sport, and a lot of seniors seem to like this sport. It'd been nice to offer something for our seniors within our community. But at this point, I'd have to say no also.
I can speak to the sound part of it, and we did have discussions about that, and there is one resident that's fairly close to that, and we did talk about planting shrubs and various items there. I know other communities, I know the city of Belleville had success in lowering their courts down 3 feet into the ground. It actually reduced the sound. So there is ways of dealing with sound, but I get the financial component as well.
Trevor, what type of funding opportunities are there? If you said specifically, and I missed it, sorry, are we looking at a 50-50 potential grant
Yeah,
system?
we were potentially looking for 50% funding on that, which is most grants. I know Trillium, there's two, it would fit either the capital Trillium grant or the Grow Seed grant would fit for that, this type of project, because it is a new program we'd be offering.
Is there any opportunity that you might know of to double stack grants? The safe answer is no, by the way.
Not normally. Not normally, but,
Yeah, we'll leave
unless,
that one
yeah.
alone.
Unless there's some other, unless there's another source of funding that comes along, then we'd obviously look at that as well.
Okay, I'll go to probably my last question. Like council members have said, it would be nice to be able to support this. The funding is the critical component. I also support what was said about we don't have the 98,000 there to draw on, so probably not a good idea. When at our present contributions to reserves, how long might we look at, if we did nothing else, how many years might it be before we get to the 98?
I'd probably have to look to my right to get that answer. I know we could
I mean,
figure.
we stressed you
it out.
yesterday, though. I was hoping you could deal with this direct.
Through you, Mr. Mayor, we are now transferring $5,000 to that reserve on a yearly basis. It will take us 19 and a half years or 20 years to get to $98,000 surplus.
Well, I don't think any at the present council table will have to worry about that decision and then. Okay, please, John, go ahead.
Through you, Mayor Jim. Let me take this another direction. At our committee level, we had a discussion around the table, and it was brought forward that there's another municipality that basically, ran out of room, I think it was, or just denied access to certain courts. So is this the direction why they came out to Hamilton Township?
I think the current courts that they're playing on are tennis courts that they formed into pickleball courts, and there's 6. They want to grow from that, and I think they also are looking for new courts. I can't speak to why it wasn't successful in there or why they're not doing that, but my understanding through the club is that they're not proceeding with the construction of new courts at this time, and that's why they come to Hamilton Township.
Trevor, is there any opportunity to stage this, like look at doing 2 courts and then future years doing 2 courts or anything like that?
Well, as Deputy Mayor Williams said, pickleball is huge right now. It's growing, and I think a lot of our community members do use it. So it would be ideal to look at some sort of phasing something in, or at least planning for the future of pickleball. I don't think it's not going away. So, again, in the master plan, it made the recommendation to support pickleball. So, anything that comes forward, we've done that by turning tennis courts into pickleball courts that get well used. But we've done that with all 4 courts that we have, 4 tennis courts, and plus the former, what used to be a skateboard park at the Baltimore Rec Center, we've transferred into a pickleball court. So they do get well used, so usage is out there that, we could take it back to the Parks and Rec Advisory Committee to kind of, bring a plan forward from there.
Probably need a slightly modified motion then I guess basically my thoughts are to not move forward with the major capital purchase that's in front of us today, but also at the same time to keep the door open, going back to committee to look at potential funding to do a portion of this. And I'm not saying that we will, just saying to investigate. Would anyone like to make a motion? Okay, we got to put better words to it than I was using, though. Okay, we're going to give you a minute. And then we're going to do a nasty thing and we're going to say, please read that for us.
So through you, and thank you. Just to clarify, so, and I just didn't want to put words in your mouth, Deputy Mayor. So just to be clear, you're receiving the report for information, you're directing staff not to proceed with the pickleball court project at this time, but you're referring the pickleball project back to the Parks and Recreation Advisory Committee. Would you like any other details included in that? No. And other opportunities? Okay. Okay. Got it. Thank you.
Kind of
Thank you.
took all of us to work on it. Do we need it read back, or we got the intent? I was going to go there in a second. Mark seconded. Any follow-up conversation, questions, comments? All those in favor of the motion? Carried, thank you. Thank you, Trevor. Okay, we're on to 15.1, and this is our application under Section 357 of the Municipal Act for a refund of property taxes. Motion reads that the Council of the Township of Hamilton receives report T 2025-27, applications per Section 357 of the Municipal Act for a refund of property taxes, and the council approves the write-off of property taxes for the total amount of $1,092.27 for the 2023 taxation year, of which $489.76 is the municipal portion. And the only thing I'd like to add to that is the actual address of that property. If we could get that into the minutes, it would be,
On the front page on the public meeting.
okay. And the address is 5268 Oriole Beach Road, Unit 380. Okay. Motion's been read. Do we have a mover and a seconder? Moved by Bruce, seconded by Larry. All those in favor? Carried. Thank you. 15.2 on our agenda, third quarter financial report. Report T 2025-28, being 2025 third quarter financial report. Prepared motion reads, the council receives report T 2025-28, being the 2025 third quarter financial report for period ending September 30th, 2025 for information. Mover, please. Moved by John, seconded by Bruce. Questions or comments? All those in favor? Carried, thank you. 15.3, regarding the Intermunicipal Task Force on Housing and Homeless. Prepared motion reads, the council receives report PLN 2025-41 for information and discussion, if there is any. So a mover and a seconder, please. Moved by Bruce, seconded by Mark. Okay, we'll go to discussion. Any questions or comments? Larry? Oh,
Through you, Mr. Mayor. I'm really pleased to see that, Daphne, you're on that committee, are you not? Or I could get that wrong. That's another committee, is it?
That's a different board, but thanks. I think
You
you're
should be
referring
on that
to-
committee.
I think you're referring to Councillor Lovshin, who does represent the municipality on the committee, and Jennifer Current did participate on this, on that meeting and prepared the report.
Okay. Because I did see at the bottom of that report the reference to communal septic systems and such, which I think is a great idea. And we brought that up at the application for the development in Baltimore. There were some smaller lots there, and I was thinking communal septic system might be a good idea there, but apparently it's not feasible at this time. But I look forward to that in the future, because it does mean that we can be looking at smaller lot sizes, I would think. So, sorry, Mark, you can maybe fill that in.
Yeah, we had a meeting in, it was in Cranby Township at the Keeler Center, and there was quite a number in attendance for that, and including some of our staff. And yeah, it was quite positive. I mean, but when you're having them as a communal, there's some issue there also, because somebody has to look after it. So whether it be a staff person from the township or however it's going to be run, to do that. So similar to water, but maybe not with the same responsibility. But as time goes on, who knows what the province will demand at some point. So I don't know whether, Jennifer, you want to add anything more to that, but it's not all just clear cut and dry to do that. So.
Through you, Mayor Jib. Yes, there's a whole industry behind communal services. Traditionally, municipalities have been hesitant to get involved with them. They traditionally involve what's called a municipal responsibility agreement if they service more than 5 dwelling units, in which case the municipality sort of has to backstop the systems. Technologies have improved significantly over the past few decades, and I do know that we have a developer in the Baltimore area that is very interested in pursuing a development on this, so we will be hearing more about this, but we will be having many, many conversations about it, and it's something that will allow us, if they're utilized, I believe it will allow us to get more residential units on less land. So protecting our agricultural land use system and focusing our development in our settlement areas, it's an exciting opportunity, but it's not without its challenges. So we'll be hearing more about this in the future.
Thank you, Jennifer. Any further questions or comments? Mark?
I just want to speak on the report in general. Jennifer, in the end, they had some recommendations that came forward back, I don't know when it was, early in the summer months. Was there anything there that's not supportive within your report today? Because it looks like you've supported almost everything that was asked at that time. Is there something that I'm missing?
Through you, Mayor Jib. I didn't support all of the recommendations of the task force. The task force report contained recommendations that suggested perhaps that zoning was the problem for our housing issues in Northumberland County. And I don't think we can blame zoning. They recommended common zones in all the municipalities and that sort of thing. And I don't think that even if we were to change our zones, if appropriate, it would do anything to help our housing affordability issue in the county. I attended the session in Roseneath, and at that session, it really seemed that there was a demographic there, I think largely development based, that thought that municipalities were being unnecessarily bureaucratic and zoning was very problematic, and that was why housing wasn't being built at the appropriate rate throughout the county. And I don't think that was a fair assessment. So there are recommendations in the report that I don't support.
Yeah, and if I may follow
Follow
up.
up, please.
I do agree with what you're saying. I mean, some of the, and we're lucky in our particular municipality that we didn't have some of the issues some of the other municipalities were having at that time. And I know they've corrected some of theirs by having new staff and so forth, and some of their issues have been corrected, and some of the timeliness of getting things through are being corrected. I guess their biggest fault or biggest area that they were trying to solve still was having the full support of council when large projects came through without them having to go back into the public eye numerous times. And we don't seem to have that here too much, but I think it's happening in some of the larger centers. So I do appreciate your report, and you've mentioned in this just to receive your report, but you did have recommendations within your report. Can we approve those recommendations within your report? Because you've looked at what you're going to do with the official plan and so forth in the future, and a lot of it's just looking into things, so is there any reason we couldn't do that?
I don't see any reason why you couldn't do that. Those are, the things that I've outlined in the report are just things that, as next year, we're going to be starting our official plan update. I want to schedule our public open house earlier in the year and then work forward from that. And these are the types of issues that I want to explore during that official plan update. I guess if I have council's support, that would be good, but
Yeah, that's what I thought. It
Sure.
looked good to support it. Great, thank you for that.
Two things. One is a slightly modified motion. The other is, after having known you for a bit, I thank you for your professionalism in the report, and again, prior to and today on content. The clerk has suggested, I believe, a slightly modified motion, and I'll turn to you and say, please.
So through you, Mr. Mayor, and if this is okay, Jennifer, is it okay where you, having not read the report in detail, the council receives the report for information, authorizes staff to proceed with the recommendations contained therein?
certainly, that's fine.
That's not going to hold you to the fire?
Okay. Now, we did have a previous motion on the floor, and how would you like us to get to the modified motion?
I would like.
Would you like the mover and the seconder to modify it? If they're in agreement?
I would ask for an amendment that the original motion be amended by authorizing staff to proceed, as I mentioned and indicated, and then we will ask for a next motion to finalize the amended motion. So to help you with that, may I ask for a mover and a seconder for an amendment?
Okay. Mark's in agreement?
Okay. Mark and Larry. Got it.
Okay.
And then
Moved and second with modifications,
final amended motion.
but we need to vote on that motion first, do we not?
Yeah.
All in favor of the original motion as modified? Carried, thank you. Now, you would like a second motion?
Thank you. And this is a great time for our new CEO to be here, I'm just going to tell you.
Showing high levels of
So
cooperation.
having learned from Mr. Brian Gilmer, I can tell you that the correct way to approach this motion would be to formally seek an amendment to the original motion that was placed on the floor, which we have done. So the motion that was moved by Councillor Butter and Councillor Levshin will be amended by adding that those words to that clause. Please vote on that, and then we will vote on the final amended motion. So it's a three-step process, right?
It's not official yet.
Okay. I'm going to ask three times. Everybody in favor of the motion that's on the floor? That's carried. Thank you. What's our second motion?
And one more time.
Is everyone in favor of this next motion that's on the floor?
Thank you. I've got that.
Carried.
That's right.
Actually, we're moving on to emergency services, so we're in good shape here. No, we're not. Okay, I went searching for something in my agenda package and lost perspective of where we are. So, we got that done. Under 17.1, we're done.
No.
We have a motion to receive modified motion 17.2 to 17.8.
No, sorry. Sorry through you, Mr. Mayor. We were in fact not there yet. We were still on the homelessness task force report. So 15.3.
Okay. Okay, 17.1. Prepared motion that items 17.2 to 17.8 of the December 16th, 2025 council meeting agenda be received and there may very well be components here that we pull out again. So, first motion is to receive 17.2 to 17.8. Do I have a mover? John, seconded by Bruce. Questions or comments? All those in favor? Oh, question, Mark? We're going to try and do this motion, get it done, and then we'll pull. Okay, so all those in favor? Carried, thank you. Is there any components here that you would like to pull from 17.2 to 17.8? And Mark, are you heading towards 17.3? Please then.
Yeah, 17.3, there was two letters, 17.3 and 17.7. I would like to see us support both of those. It's dealing with the conservation authorities and their amalgamation of a number of them into one kind of thing. So there's absolutely going to be no advantage for us here at Hamilton Township for that to happen. In fact, it's going to be devastating for us if this happens, because you're going to be seeing a very, very well-run conservation authority mixed in with some maybe not so well-run, and we're going to be paying the consequence of that. So we really need to support this. We really need to hopefully have the minister end this, because I mean it's not going to help us at all. And I don't even know where our representation is going to be. I don't know how we're even going to be billed anymore, because we're not going to have, maybe not even have anybody on the board anymore, because it's going to be, it's not going to have 47 people on it, obviously, because it's dealing with a number of municipalities, and the area is so large and so different that it's just going to be a non-winner for us. And one thing I really want you to remember is we have, within our conservation authority, we have a building that's rented out to the school board, continually helps support our budget. We also have the Forest Center itself, which has all the different activities that go on there that people pay their membership and so forth for, that some of the other ones don't have. So all this money that we bring in to help support our budget and keep things on the lower end as far as an overall levy and so forth, is going to disappear for us perhaps, or divided up amongst a number of other municipalities. So I really hope we support this. I really hope we can win this battle with the minister. I hope they rethink this. And I really hope that, they do what we're asking from the Conservation Authority in particular, is to have a group put forward and actually look at this before they actually do anything with it. So I would ask for council support on this.
Mark, just before we move on there, would you, and I got a two-part question here. Would you like to make a resolution in support of 17.3 and 17.7, or would you like to go independent from that and make a resolution in opposition to the amalgamation? And
I think
one may be a little stronger than the other.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying. The Conservation Authority, and I thank Faith for writing her letter from Blue Dot, but the Conservation Authority's recommendation isn't just to eliminate everything. They really want to work with the minister in correcting any issues that are within the other conservation authorities. So I'd really like to see us perhaps support that. I think sometimes when you go in and you say you want to oppose it, sometimes they don't listen to that. They just put that aside. At least you have some solution here that, let's look at this first. Let's try and find some common ground. Let's try and find some solution. So that's really what, if you read the Conservation Authority's recommendation, it's within that to do that and actually get a working group established that will help find any issues that are within some of the other conservation authorities and try and correct those rather than just amalgamate them and make them a big mess.
So Mark, would you
I'm
like to word your motion, please?
I'm really asking us to support the GRCA recommendation moving forward,
Okay.
rather than just put in opposition to it.
Okay. Do I have a seconder to that? John? Questions or comments? I think we're all certainly in agreement here. Larry, question?
Through you, Mr. Mayor. So Mark, I understood that the formal resolution of opposition would have to be there by the 22nd of December. So we need to have something there to,
The 20, I think it's even, yeah, it's the 22nd, so you're right. I mean,
Yeah.
we do have to comment on this as ASAP. and that's why it's here today. And, yeah, if our staff could send that out pretty much within a day or two, that'd be great. Thank you, Larry.
Okay, any further questions or, John? Oh, okay, all those in favor of the motion? Carried, thank you. Okay, anything else to be pulled?
Yes, Mayor Jib. 17.8, I believe the provincial government wants to make changes to OMERS under Bill 68. And there is a template letter on page 3, and I think we need to support in opposition to Bill 68 to dissolve the OMERS sponsor corporation.
Okay, John, consider it pulled. Would you like to make that a motion, or is that your wording you want to move forward with?
Yes, that's motion I want to move forward
Okay.
with. I don't have to get all that or not, but
Can you say that again?
I want to move forward the opposition to the Bill 68 to dissolve OMERS sponsor corporation. How about that?
Got it? Okay, seconded by Mark. Any further conversation, questions, comments?
Just a comment through you, Mayor Jib. I believe this governance change is going to really affect OMERS badly. If they go on a separate governance model, then it could increase the cost. It's no more, it's not going to go down. It'll go up because they hold the full power on OMERS itself. And they can also take the money and dissolve it to some other corporation or some other business if they want to. So it's very, we have to support the opposition to the changes because OMERS is perfectly run right now. And if we go to another governance model, it just may be an awful situation we may be in. So that's all my comments are.
Thank you. Anything further from anyone? Okay, it's been moved, seconded. All those in favor of the motion? Carried. Thank you. Okay, we're down to 18.1. Oh, I'm sorry, Bruce.
I wondered if there's another step that we could take as a municipal council, Township of Hamilton, to support the Ganaraska conservation. Like, we're supporting what they're saying, but I just wonder, is there an additional step that would be helpful? Because I think this is really important. Like, the Conservation Authority's been there forever, and they were formed for a purpose.
Mark, we're all going to look to you at that.
I think with what was asked from the GRCA, I think that's all we can do at this point. I mean, I really do. I mean, we are sending the letter to our local MPP and so forth. There's a number of people that we're going to send a letter to, so including the people that are making the decision. So I think that's all we can do.
Okay.
I mean, we could ask our MPP to come here, but I mean, there's just no time to do that at this
Right.
point.
There may be a point later on where there could be something more, so we'll put that on the radar, I guess.
I don't think we need a motion, but we could certainly ask our rep, being Mark, to GRCA and staff, if they see anything that it's,
Absolutely.
get back to us
Absolutely.
at, the most convenient time.
Right, thank you.
Okay, moving on to 18.1, appointment of a committee of adjustment. Prepared motion reads that bylaw 2025-47, being a bylaw to appoint a committee of adjustment, be given a first, second, and third reading, and finally pass the 16th day of December 2025. Mover and a seconder? Moved by Larry, seconded by John. Any questions or comments? All those in favor? Carried. Thank you. 18.2, bylaw 2025-53, to appoint chief administrative officer. Prepared motion reads that bylaw 2025-53, being a bylaw to appoint Brian Gilmer as chief administrative officer for the Township of Hamilton, be given a first, second, and third reading, and finally passed the 16th day of December 2025. Mover, Bruce. Seconder, John. Guess we'll get a vote on this, and then we'll maybe just hesitate to go an informal for a second or two. Whether it's proper procedure or not, I don't much care. Okay, it's been moved, it's been seconded. All those in favor? Anybody want a recorded vote, just in case? Brian, I'm sure you've viewed enough tapes. I'm sure you've known of our recent history here. We deviate from the strict components periodically. I hope you're able to adjust to that, because it's probably not going to change. We welcome you. Thank you for showing your interest in our municipality. Many of us have known you for quite some time. I just wouldn't know exactly how many's in the room that have actually worked with you, but probably 5 is my guess. I'd have to think that through a little more carefully, but certainly a number of us. So we welcome you, and as informal as we can get, please feel free to come to the microphone and identify yourself.
Well, thank you, Mayor Jib. First of all, thank you for passing that bylaw. It would have been awfully awkward had that not gone through, but just want to tell you how much I appreciate the trust you've put in me, and I'm humbled by the opportunity. Hamilton Township has a great team with a really strong reputation, and I'm really excited to be joining that team and working with them and working with council to move things forward. So I know you had a long meeting yesterday and you've got through a lot of business today, so I'll keep my remarks short, but I just wanted to say thank you, and I'm really looking forward to it.
Thank you, Brian. Anybody want to throw a question at him when he's here, or does he think that's inappropriate?
Through Parks and Recreation, they're in charge of the buildings, correct? I just wonder if we can do something with the doorways. Either a caution sign or I was talking to Brian earlier, if there's any spare hockey helmets around, because he'd like to have one.
A helmet's cheaper, so we might go that route. So.
All right. Are you sure you still want to stay, Brian? Okay, as again, officially welcome and thanks for being here today and having a bit of fun with us. We actually really do need a little bit of fun today after yesterday's session, to be honest with you. So great to have you here. No notice of motions, no media questions, closed session.
Before we go there, can I-
Please.
I'm sorry, I meant to bring this up in communications. I don't know if all of staff and council are aware of it. One of our neighboring councillors had passed away in Dalton McDonald, and I don't know whether you knew that or not, councillor, deputy mayor, and county councillor. So he just passed away recently in the last few days, so I thought I'd pass it on to the rest, and I'm not sure what the protocol is for our flag, but if we could go at half-mast, it would be probably appreciated if we could.
We'll put that in the form of a question and ask staff what protocol is. Thank you, Mark. Closed session. What we'll do is we'll just take a quick break when we get everybody transitioned. Okay, motion to move to a closed session to discuss matters permitted under section 239, 2B, D, E, and F, and K regarding approval of confidential in-camera minutes, update on an OLT matter, labor relations. Section descriptions, personnel matters about an identifiable individual, including municipal or local board employees. D, labor relations or employee negotiations. E, litigation or potential litigation, including matters before administrative tribunals affecting the municipality or local board. F, advice that is subject to a solicitor-client privilege, including communications necessary for that purpose. K, a position, plan, or procedure, criteria, or instruction to be applied to any negotiations carried on or to be carried on by or on behalf of the municipality or local board. Prepared motion that the council meeting held on December 16th, 2025, move to a closed session at 2:15 PM under the Municipal Act, Sections 239, 2B, D, E, F, and K. So, when we're still in open, I'm going to say that we're going to take a 10-minute break. So, I'll mover and a seconder. Okay, moved by Bruce, seconded by John. All those in favor? Okay, and we'll Okay, our report out of closed is that staff received direction within closed, and they are to proceed with those actions. Thank you. Our next bit of business is our confirmatory bylaw. Prepared motion reads that bylaw 2025-52, being a bylaw to adopt proceedings of council meeting held on the 16th day of December 2025, and to authorize its execution be given first, second, and third reading, and finally pass the 16th day of December 2025. Mover and a seconder. Moved by John, second by Larry. Questions or comments? All those in favor? Carried. Thank you. Item 25.1, motion to adjourn. Prepared motion reads that the council meeting held on December 20... I'll start over. That the council meeting held on December 16th, 2025, be adjourned at 2:36 p.m. Mover by Mark, second by Bruce. All those in favor? Carried. Thank you.